Hello everyone, and welcome back to Semi-Control Chaos, and today I'm going to be making another Steven Universe theory slash discussion video, and in this one I'm going to be going over the fate of Pink Diamond. Now, there's been a lot more information thrown at us with the trial, so let's get it right into it. So, very little is actually known about Pink Diamond herself. We can infer a couple clues, like there are hints that she might be overcooked or whatever the equivalent is like amethyst. An example of this can be found when in the episode, I believe It Could Have Been Great is the name of it. We see Pink Diamond's moon base. The strange thing is her chair barely looks big enough to seat Garnet. Well, probably slightly somewhat bigger than Garnet, but still the same. Now, I will mention that the size has been, I guess, retconned is the term. Because if you look over, and in this shot, the first appearance of Pink Diamond, Pearl just comes up to her knee. Now, and you can see just right here that the chair is much bigger. And if you go further on into the zoo arc, I know it's a little grainy, but, well, actually, it's not very grainy, but you can see here how Pearl is now so much smaller than Blue Diamond. And if you continue watching the episode, you can see the Yellow Diamond now has the size to hold Blue and Yellow Pearl in her hand. So the sizes have obviously been changed, and there is a little bit of leeway with this part of the theory. So I'm going to be going into what I believe right now, from what we know, is the possibility I believe is the most plausible for this. As we can see here, the four murals of the diamonds. I think there's there's something odd here. Usually, governments or whatever are formed odd numbered, and they do this because that way there's no stalemates in power. You know, there's 3 votes, there's 5 votes, there's 11 votes, there's whatever. There's always going to be a deciding side that's going to win. If Pink Diamond really was new, as we can see here, she only has one planet compared to all the others, she would have been a very new factor. A, she was probably overcooked. B, she could have had very conflicting idealisms or philosophies that differ from, I would believe, mainly yellow or white. I can see her getting along with Blue more, as we can tell from Blue's just constant sad feelings towards Pink. We can tell that they were very close. I imagine that they connected very closely when it came to matters of philosophy, ethnics, whatever. Now, I think that this, not a vacuum of power, I guess just this imbalance in power, probably planted the seeds for a plot to shatter Pink Diamond, to get her out of the way. Now, I imagine a couple other things played into this, like her inability to end the rebellion that we know now, as of the trial, lasted for at least a couple hundred years. I'm fairly sure they said at one point it lasted 1,000 years, but it lasted a long time at any rate, even a gem time. So, my working theory so far is that I believe Pink caught wind of one of the other diamonds, or another higher up, plotting her downfall. And in such, she decided to seek help from the crystal gems. Now, I'm also theorizing that Rose probably had an impact on Pink. As she built the zoo, she seemed to be a lot more caring than a lot of the other diamonds. At least that's the way she is portrayed. Now, I think that she was starting to actually just lean towards Rose's philosophies, and she was starting to agree with Rose, and that was possibly another reason why the plot to shatter her was beginning to take form. Now, I know in the trial it was stated that she took a couple steps off her palanquin and was shattered by rose quartz. Well, I have a couple things that I kept getting hooked up on that I just could not work out. A, Rose's sword is confirmed to not be able to shatter the gem of another gem's gem. And the major key component in this, I believe, is Pink Pearl. Now, what I believe happened was Pink Pearl made a hologram of pink diamond. And Pearl calls hers hollow pearls. I'm going to coin the phrase here and call it a hollow pink diamond, or just hollow pink, whatever you want to go with here. And I know what many of you are thinking. Hollow pearl is not a direct representation of pearl. It's a different color, you can kind of see through it. But I believe that there's a workaround for this. She said that she adjusted the code, I believe is the terminology she used, that made it less aggressive. Well, what happens if you can go in there, or she can go into the code, or Pink Pearl can go into the code rather, and adjust the texture, or the skin, to use computer terms, and make it more realistic, not make it see-through, probably program a couple lines of dialogue, make it much more realistic. I would imagine a diamond probably wouldn't have to move much if she's just sitting on her palanquin. She would probably have to interact with a few people, or a few gems here and there. But I don't think there would be enough need to have it heavy dialogue programmed into it. So, coupling that, or combining that with the knowledge we received from Zircon at the trial, the hologram would have walked down the palanquin steps just enough to where Rose could stab it through the gem or the fake gem on the hologram. Now, her sword, as I say, has been confirmed not to be able to stab through a gem's physical form, aka, or no, it was confirmed to cut through the physical form but never shatter the gem. I'm sorry. However, a hologram is not a gem. It's the same concept. It's a what's the terminology that Pearl used? A conscious physical representation of light, I believe was the exact phrase. It's like that, but I imagine for whatever reason that a hologram just wouldn't be as dense as a... Well, actually no, the body would not need to be dense, because even if the body is the same composition as a regular gem's, the gem stone would be made of the same material as the body. The gem of a regular gem is a rock, but a gem on a hologram would just be light. So the sword would be able to cut through that perfectly with no problem. So the question I imagine now would be, where was Pink Pearl Pink Diamond rather during all of this? Well, I imagine she probably had herself poofed or is just hiding out somewhere. I'm going with the theory that she's poofed. And I do not have screenshots or pictures or anything else of it right now. I'm sorry about it, but I believe she's either in the chest in Lion's Mane or possibly in that weird contraption in the moon base that we saw. I don't know. I don't think they would just leave her gem in the moon base unattended, where any gem with a spaceship could fly up and possibly find it. So my working theory is that it's in the chest in Lion's Mane in a bubble, or hidden away in another location we haven't seen. So my working theory here is that it's either yellow or white diamond. I could be fooled, and it could be Blue Diamond putting on a big masquerade and she's like just pretending to miss Pink so much, but I think she's put enough genuine emotion into it, and during the trial she emitted that shockwave of sadness. I don't know exactly what to call that. But I could be fooled, and she could just be putting on an act, and it could turn out that, say, Yellow Diamond was really, like, she knew the details behind Pink's murder, and she just thinks that Blue doesn't know, but in fact Blue and White were conspiring against Pink, and just kind of left Yellow out of most of the details. And Yellow thinks that she knows more than Blue, but she doesn't. Something like that could possibly happen. The information changes a lot. But from what we know currently, I'm going with the theory that it's either yellow or white diamond. So, the theory that I have now is that eventually they're going to find either Pink Pearl or Pink Diamond and release them or get the information out of them, etc. And when they do, that would be a major plot point, as gems like Jasper will now be loyal to Pink Diamond, as they will have learned the truth now. The conspiracy to shatter Pink Diamond. And as I said before, I could be fooled. It could be a couple other combinations, but right now I'm theorizing that Pink and Blue Diamond will join forces. It's at this point in the video I wish I had better editing software, because I just would have taken their mural faces off and put it on like the Captain America Civil War thing, but I don't. So here's gonna, hopefully by this point you've made it to this point in the video, but this is my representation of the possible new Civil War that will erupt. It will possibly between yellow, white, and pink and Blue Diamond. It could be a couple other combinations, but for whatever reason, this picture that I managed to find just happens to have the perfect alignment. Pink and blue on one side and yellow and white on the other. I think it's also a little interesting to note that yellow and white diamonds murals are almost identical. I mean, there's differences, yes, but they're not as different, say, as blues and pinks. Everyone assumes, me including, that white diamond is the first diamond. Then she made yellow, I believe, and then blue, and then pink, because you can start to see the steady degradation of similarities. Pink being by far the most different. So, with this information, we'll see Pink's forces, and if they manage to actually uncorrupt the corrupted gems, most of them were probably under Pink Diamond or Blue Diamond. So they'll be grateful for being uncorrupted. They'll be pissed at, well, they might be a little pissed at Blue Diamond because she was part of the corruption song, but I think if they see that she's fighting for them now, that they'll get behind her, and they'll rough out a couple edges here and there, and they'll focus mainly on white and yellows and their forces. And then we'll have groups like the Famethist and other groups like that under blue right now, who were originally under pink, and they'll naturally just fall in line. I have no question about that. And then I think this will be like the major plot, the major end point of the story. Every little dirty secret's gonna come out, any hidden characters, any hidden powers, forms, etc., fusions. So this is my working theory for what's going on right now. One last little tidbit I forgot to mention was that the Palanquin is much smaller. Pink's Palanquin is much smaller compared to Blue's, and I don't think Blue would actually be able to fit inside the Palanquin, so there is that evidence that she was overcooked or whatever, because as I mentioned, they did retcon the size. So anyway guys, that was just my theories, videos that I've been thinking up for a while. It seemed to make the most sense to me. It would be a bit of a cop-out for a couple people, because they would, it would be the whole, oh, Pink or Rose really didn't shatter Pink. Well, yes and no, because she has the sword that is guaranteed not to shatter people. But I still think that she probably has shattered other people by other means as deemed necessary. I did like the fact that she was not just this innocent character that we first initially thought, and then she actually killed someone. And I could be wrong. Pink Diamond could very well have been shattered, but I don't honestly think she is, because it would just be, too many plot points would just fall in line if she wasn't for me. But anyway, this video is starting to drag on a little bit. So if you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.